Pisces and the sun in Virgo. So get everything you need for the video. This is a full moon, so your full accumulation. So make sure you got your full accumulation type supplies. You do what I'm saying? At this point in time, you should already have these things accumulated. This is the full moon. So these things should already be something that you've accumulated throughout the new moon process before the full moon has occurred. So tap in with me in the comments. Let me know what's going down with the full moon accumulation, and let me know what house you have the full moon experiencing in. And then based on that, let me know your sun and rising, sun and moon as well, and how that sun and moon associate with the current energy and how you're harvesting this dream. So essentially, since you've got everything you need for your video, you do what I'm saying. You got your water, you got your food and things of that nature. I just had a real good meal, things of that nature, so I'm ready to go, right? So the moon in Pisces is all about feeling comfortable with a dream, right? And the sun in Virgo is all about the details. So this full moon accumulation creates that 180-degree opposition with the details of the sun taking action with critique, but having a dream. So to have a proper dream, you can't critique it too much, you just have to dream. So feeling comfortable with a dream is act in the details of this dream, which creates this 180-degree opposition. So with all this being said, we're all experiencing the details of the dream that we've been accumulating and how we've accumulated this throughout this new moon process and things of that nature. So with that being said, right now your details of your dream are being shown to you right in front of your face. Whatever house you have this energy in Pisces, then that's going to depict what kind of dream that you've accumulated. And based on the area of life is going to be the filtering system for that particular dream, and the filtering system for the sun is going to be the particular filtering system for the actions, which will be the details. So the moon right now is going to filter through a dreamy kind of in a dreamy way, and the sun is going to be in a taking action in a detailed way. So at this time, we're in an illusionary state that we want to make sense out of, and that's what creates this full moon. So with all this being said, it's a really good time to get the proper sleep, take the proper time to get oneself correct before experiencing others and things of that nature. Because first of all, the full moon is a time that you want to have everything already accumulated. You don't want to be going out into the outside world at this period of time and trying to get new things to accumulate. At this point in time, you should already have accumulated them throughout the first quarter square, and learning from that first quarter square and finding what you actually needed to accumulate before we went into this full moon circumstance. So if you were tapping into my videos and you were following the moon as it accumulated in this new moon process, then boom, most likely if you know what areas of life you were experiencing and you were on the higher octave, then at this point in time you're already all accumulated. You got everything you need. For example, me personally, I feel I'm on the higher octave of this energy because I didn't have to go nowhere to get everything I wanted to get. I actually gave a lot of things away today. A lot of my possessions that others may have needed to have a proper full moon circumstance and not having to go too far outside of themselves to accomplish whatever what is necessary for them. So essentially, this is all about the mutability energy. Are you able to adapt to the details of the dream that is being played out at this time? Excuse me, got a little bit of mucus caught up in my sinus system and things of that nature. I know, maybe TMI for some of y'all, but TMI means too much information. But so moving forward, right now, since we're experiencing this full moon, whatever you have accumulated, now you want to utilize protection and see what is the actual things that other spirits are going to be trying to take from me that I've already accumulated from this new moon process, and based on that, what kind of circumstances am I going to accumulate to try to take what I've accumulated throughout this new moon process and take them from me, and while I'm defending them throughout the moon waning and clearing out this energy so we can have another new moon and more new experiences. And now in the Virgo energy, we're going to have a new moon whenever this full moon energy washes out. So essentially, at this point in time, it's good to, the moon moves every 2.5 days. So based on the moon just moving into Pisces today, and creating this full moon energy, you want to kind of play out this whole rest of this next week. And, like, for example, the next 5 days. So 2.5 plus 2.5 equals 5. You do what I'm saying? So, with that being said, for the next 5 days, you kind of want to play the back and do a little bit more protection kind of thing, and understand that there's going to be a lot of people that are unsatisfied and haven't accumulated everything, and they have to go very far outside of themselves and accumulate with this full moon energy. And it is very turbulent circumstances for the most part. If you look at it, a lot of the individuals that have, I guess you'd say, checked out or lost their existence essentially. A lot of the times people check out on the full moon. So you really just want to stay inside and get around people that you really trust and can actually confide in, and you have an amicable space, and you don't have to worry about too many things. So it's like those two energies are going to oppose each other wherever the sun is at. So you don't want to be on the opposite side of the energy too much and try to add on too much opposite energy based on trying to make others feel comfortable and oneself feel comfortable. So now to get into it, wherever you have Pisces at is what I'm going to be breaking down that opposition. So Pisces rising is going to have Virgo in the 7th house. So then they're going to experience in their relationship what the details of the relationship that they personally dreamed about. And now they're experiencing the emotions of that personal dream that they conspired essentially, or they accumulated. And now they're experiencing that personally based on the full moon, based on their relationship that they've been taking action on throughout this new moon process. So if you're on the higher octave, at this time the details of your relationship are beneficial if you're a Pisces rising. If you're on the lower octave, how to rectify this, if you're on the circumstance where the details of your dream or relationship or what you're relating with are non-beneficial, at this point in time you want to kind of play the back and comprehend, okay, what do I actually need to clear out throughout this waning process of the moon, and see what things am I relating to personally that I can, throw away. You got to know what to throw away and know what to keep. Shout out to the gambler, Kenny Rogers. I really like that song. If y'all know me, you know I like that song. Very deep meaning with that song. And now Pisces in the 2nd house is going to be the Aquarius rising. The Aquarius rising has the Virgo in the 8th house based on having Pisces in the 2nd. So they're accumulating the dream, illusion, and nightmare in their value system. So they conspired and they accumulated a value system that is dreamy, illusionary, and nightmarish-like based on what they have shared values with. At this point in time, they've been accumulating what they value and the details, what the shared values are, and the details of these shared values have been so behind the scenes that now they're experiencing what is actually valued in reality based on the moon being here, and they're actually seeing this dream come to reality based on what they've been harvesting in their 8th house. And if you think about it, the way to rectify that, if you're on the lower side of the energy and you're not accumulating everything that you want to actually accumulate, you want to play the back for the next 5 days, and then know what you need to get rid of. And then whenever the new moon occurs since you have Virgo in the 8th house, you're going to have, the new moon started in Leo, and then we have, just finished up whenever Virgo season entered. You know what I'm saying? We have the 4 degrees sun, and whenever the moon entered 4 degrees, or it's 7 degrees sun or 4 degrees sun, one of the two. Whenever they were 180 degree opposition, then that enacted that full moon energy from the Leo season, and now we're going to have a new moon in Virgo coming up. So, with all that being said, the way to rectify it is then whenever the 3rd house comes around for the Aquarius rising, and the Virgo, and they're gonna in the 9th house it's gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, because the Virgo it'll still be in the 8th house. So for the Aquarius rising, the Virgo will have it in the 8th house, and they'll be having a new moon in the 8th house, and they'll be seeing what to actually get rid of, and they're seeing what they value at this point in time and what to shed based on this full moon energy, and they're seeing, okay, what have I accumulated that's unnecessary, and what do I need to shed based on the waning process. And that's what you can rectify, and then you're going to see what to actually bring in to your new transformation whenever you have the new moon accumulate in the 8th house. Now, moving forward, Capricorn rising is going to have the Pisces in the 3rd house, so the environment. The dream, illusion, and nightmare is going to be experienced in the environment realm. And what you see on the day-to-day life and who you communicate on the day-to-day and people around you, like your neighbors in your neighborhood. And then, with that being said, you'll have Virgo in the 9th house because it'll be that 180-degree opposition to the 3rd house. So with that being said, you're going to have a knowledge and wisdom and a critique about experiences and things of that nature, and just in general. So at this point in time, you want to kind of play the back and not critique the environment too much and not try to act too wise for your own good, essentially. And now, if you're on the lower octave of energy, you got to know what knowledge and wisdom that you've been seeing the details of and knowing what actually can apply in your environment and what new accumulations you need to accumulate and what you need to shed to accumulate those new things in the 3rd house in your environment if you're Capricorn rising. And Capricorn is experiencing the sextile to the Pisces, so they're able to see the opportunity in the environment based on the way that they logisticalize and practicalize. Excuse me. And the Sagittarius rising is experiencing the square energy to the Pisces, which they're going to have Pisces in the 4th. And Pisces in the 4th is the dream, illusion, and nightmare realm being experienced in the home or the private space, or things that are close to the heart of the Sagittarius. And then, with that being said, the 10th house will be in Virgo, and that 10th house in Virgo will have a status that is critique, or a critiquing status, one that is very critical about one's own status and their career. So at this point in time, if you're Sagittarius, you're doing a whole lot of learning. You're learning how to be more emotional in your private life and your home life, and also on top of that, you're learning how to have a status about the way that you're enacting within and having the actual details of your status and the way that you're actually being critiqued, essentially. So at this point in time, you're in a time that's a lot of pressure. You just need to sit back and learn. That's what the Sagittarius is going to do. The Sagittarius is going to learn how to be more practical and be more practical about the emotions based on it being in the 4th and the 10th, 2 cardinal houses. And the cardinal houses are the ones that initiate and create. That's a whole other video. Moving forward, the Scorpio rising and is going to have the Pisces in the 5th house. And then with that being said, is it going to be the 5th? Am I messing up? I think I might be flunked out. Because the Sagittarius, will have the Pisces in the 4th. But then the Scorpio, that makes sense. The Scorpio will have the Pisces in the 5th. And based on the Pisces in the 5th, they'll have Virgo in the 11th house, which will oppose. So the area of life that the Scorpio is experiencing, the dream, illusion, and nightmare, is in their expression, in their way of expressing oneself, in their childlike nature. It makes sense that the Scorpio is so tentative to actually be their real self and not be so secretive based on the Pisces being in the 5th. They don't know if to be oneself or to act like someone else. And then with that being said, the details of what they're being critiqued on and their own critique, which is what they're associated with, the 11th house, they're able to see the opportunity with what associates they are detailed with and the details of the associates. And then with that being said, the Scorpio has the trine to the Pisces, so they're able to create the opportunity of what expression to express in that 5th house, or what dream to express. So essentially, the Scorpio is at the opportunist time and able to also see the opportunity of what details to enact to actually achieve this dream-like expression that they want to achieve. So Scorpio's in a pretty good spot, same like the Capricorn is. And moving forward, the Libra is experiencing the Pisces in the 6th house, which will be their routine and pattern and their ways of going about their health. So they're going to have a dream, illusion, and nightmare about their routine and pattern or health. And then with that being said, they're going to have the details of the dream, and they're going to be critiquing one's own dream. So if you're not actually seeing your routine and pattern be accumulated and actually have the details of the dream that you've been doing your best to accumulate throughout the new moon process. You need to see what you need to clear out to actually accumulate this dream, which could be having a whole, being able to adapt to the ways that are actually critical to achieve the dream that you're trying to operate. Moving forward, the Virgo rising is going to obviously have Virgo in the first house. And with that being said, they're going to have the Pisces in the seventh house. And Pisces in the seventh house is in the relationship realm. So dream illusion and nightmares in the way of relating or the relationship, how one relates on the ship and how the ship actually floats throughout the water, essentially. And with that being said, the details of how one personally goes about the details about how one personally goes about critiquing and goes about creating a schedule for one's personal life. At this point in time, if you're not able to actually relate to the actual dreamlike partner or the dreams of your partner or the dreams of your relationship, at this point in time you'll be at the lower octave of the energy. So you need to be more relatable, essentially. Virgo rising. If you're not being more relatable enough, then the actual dream cannot be enacted because you're not allowing the mutable water to enact. Moving forward, the Leo rising is experiencing the Pisces in the 8th house, which will be in the transformation behind the scenes in the secret realm. So at this point in time, the Leo, pardon me, and I messed up on the Virgo. The Virgo is experiencing the opposition to the Pisces, like I say, and so that's either able to oppose or add on. So I just needed to mention that. And now Leo is experiencing the in conjunction to the Pisces, so misunderstanding what dream, illusion, and nightmare to transform. And with that being said, they're also having the shared values. So at this point in time, whatever you valued, whatever shared value that you were experiencing throughout, whatever you were valuing is now showing you throughout your shared experiences what you actually valued, and then boom, on top of that, it's showing you a little bit of a misunderstanding based on how the Leo is fixed in their own way. So they're having to adapt. It's like a misunderstanding. They're having to adapt to the actual water that's accumulating, and the fire doesn't do well with the water, it just burns it out. So with that being said, the Leo at this point in time has to be more understanding in what to transform based on what they value, and if they're on the lower octave of energy, they need to see what to clear out and what to now accumulate in their value system and what they are valuing. So for me personally, it's value. Like I'm a Leo rising for myself in the cross. I'm not personally. I'm putting in my second house, my value house, to be on the live whenever the moon moves, and go at least every 2.5 days and keep up with it. So that's my way of valuing and keeping myself on that value system and that routine and pattern that I value. And I see that as a healthy way to build my channel. You see what I'm saying? Health, Virgo, value, all that. Moving forward, the Cancer rising is experiencing a trine as well, just like the Scorpio to the Pisces. And with that being said, the Cancer is going to have Pisces in the 9th house. And that'll be the area of life of the knowledge, wisdom, and experience. So at this point in time, you're having a dream, illusion, and nightmare about your wisdom and how experienced you are in life. At this point in time, you're in a space that you're able to create a knowledge and wisdom, a personal knowledge and wisdom, or a personal dream, illusion, and nightmare. And with that being said, you're having I'm kind of getting lost. My hair look different based on the hat. But the Cancer is going to then have the Virgo in the 3rd house. Yeah, the Virgo in the 3rd house. So whatever they accumulated based on what they valued in their environment. At this point in time, you got to see what in my environment did I actually accumulate based on this knowledge and wisdom. Did I have a certain philosophy about going about my environment? And based on that, I accumulated this full moon experience in my knowledge and wisdom, and realizing that, oh, I was actually in an illusion about my wisdom, and I thought I was a bit too wise for my own self, and too wise for my own good, essentially. So if you're on that side energy, you need to know what to actually accumulate in your environment and see the details of how to actually rectify that and see what knowledge and wisdom to actually utilize in the environment, or try not to be too wise for your own good. Just do more, being more open and being more air-like in that third house. Moving forward, I did the Cancer, and the Cancer is a trine. Yep, and the Gemini is another no. The Gemini is a square, so it's a 90-degree angle, and that's in the 10th house. So they're having Pisces in the 10th house. So their status, their blueprint, and their career is what they're in their illusionary realm at, or they're having a dream about. They're dreaming and having an illusion or a nightmare in their status in their blueprint realm. And with that being said, they're having that dream, illusion, and nightmare based on what they've accumulated, based on what's close to their heart in their 4th house. So the details of what they've got going on in their 4th house or their home is accumulating this status for oneself, and that's what's creating this illusion. To act, and like that's what's creating this illusion to be opposite to how one interacts in their home life, essentially. So at this point in time, the Gemini needs to see, okay, how can I learn how to be more adaptable in my status and be more adaptable to others' emotions in my status, but also how can I be more close to other people's heart and the details of, and give the details of what's close to my heart. Okay, I need to move more logistical in my practical life, logistical and practical in my home life if I'm Gemini rising. And then with that being said, I need to be more open to how others feel about my career and status, and not be so essentially what I want to describe with the Pisces in the 10th house. Don't be so loose-ended. Be more confident about your dream, illusion, and nightmare. Know exactly what you actually have a dream about and what status you want to achieve, and stick on that thought pattern, and stick on that emotional realm that you put yourself in. And then if you don't have that going on, you want to clear out everything that you had going on in your previous status, and then accumulate this new home, or essentially this new way of interacting in your home, to have the correct routine and pattern, to then in turn give yourself a better status. Moving forward, the Taurus rising is going to have the Pisces in the 11th house, which will be the sextile house. They're able to see the opportunity of what associates are putting them in a dream, illusion, and nightmare realm. And with that being said, it's based on how they've been expressing themselves and the details of how they've been expressing themselves. They're able to create the opportunity based on where the sun's at. So they're able to create that personal, logistical, and practical way of being based on their personal ways of expressing themselves. And with that being said, they're able to see what associates, and able to see the opportunity of what associates are best for the current dream, illusion, and nightmare that they are in. So the Taurus is in a good spot as well, same like the Scorpio was, and the Capricorn, I'm pretty sure, we're in a good spot as well. And then moving forward, the Aries rising, last but not least, is having Pisces in the 12th house, and this will be the Virgo in the 6th house. So based on their routine and pattern and their health and what they've been accumulating in their system, in their routine and pattern or system, based on their 6th house, they have accumulated in the dream, illusion, and nightmare realm a dream, illusion, and nightmare. So, it's really just like overthinking essentially for the Aries, because it's a misunderstanding with the Virgo, based on it being 5 houses away. It's a 150-degree angle. It's a quincunx misunderstanding. So with that being said, the Aries is kind of misunderstanding, should I switch up my system, or should I switch up my routine and pattern, or should I just stick with it? So at this point in time, you kind of just want to stick with it for the next 2.5 days. And then after the moon begins to wane, you'll be able to see, okay, was that actually the best routine and pattern based on the dream, illusion, and nightmare I'm trying to deal with or operate at this point in time? So that's the houses, and that's the full moon. So essentially at this point in time, if you haven't accumulated everything that you needed for your full moon, you kind of just want to kick back and say, okay, whenever we have the full moon energy go away, and then we have the moon wane a bit more, and the moon pretty much goes into like Gemini or the moon goes into Cancer. Pretty much whenever the moon goes into Cancer, I would recommend going out there and not accumulating, but working on what you need to rectify at that point in time. And then whenever that Virgo new moon comes around, you'll be able to say, oh, okay, what do I actually want to accumulate in my new experiences again? And you make sure you get this one right, so that way you don't have to experience another full moon experience whenever we then move into Libra season, and then that Libra season is in the sun is going to experience the full moon with Aries in the moon. So yeah, get ready for that one coming up, you know what I'm saying, in the next 2 weeks after, well, actually 4 weeks now, whenever in this next month. So yeah, get ready for that and get ready to gear up, you know what I'm saying, and hold it down for this full moon and stay safe, y'all, and peace and love if you believe in all.